I grew up as an Army brat. So my father was in the Army for 20 years. I grew up primarily in Fort Hood, Texas, probably for 13, 14 years. And when it came time to make a decision, I just thought, I'm going to do something different. I want to see the world, It's more than I had seen, moving around with my father. My name is Chris, and I'm the Missions Veteran of the Year. My first duty station was Mayport, Florida, stationed aboard USS Vreeland, FF-1068, a fast frigate. My second duty station was in Norfolk, Virginia, a station on USS Puget Sound, AD-38. I went from there to Naval Recruiting District, San Antonio, Texas. Did 3 years of recruiting, left recruiting and went to Yokosuka, Japan, to the USS Independence, CV-62, and then to USS Kitty Hawk, CV-63, which was also stationed out of Yokosuka, Japan. Came back stateside to a float training group in Ingleside, Texas, and there I picked up my commission. Once I was commissioned, I went to USS Vela Gulf CG-72 out of Norfolk, Virginia. I never look back on the Navy and think, I wish I had never, had not joined, or I wish I had done something different. I think it turned out just as I expected. I got to go a lot of different places on this globe, a lot of different countries. It was fun, met a lot of good people. Then specifically the skill or trade that I learned of the Navy transitioned directly over into the civilian world. So I work at a waste to energy facility in Lorton, Virginia, just south of the Pentagon. In fact, at the time it was the largest waste to energy facility in the United States. We burned 3,000 tons per day of garbage to make electricity. Started my own business in 2018, and it was successful, and then the pandemic hit. Once the pandemic hit, business kind of shriveled up, and so did my ability to take care of myself, and ended up living in my car. I couldn't live with my mother. She was living in a 55 and over, kind of assisted living facility. So it was just me on the streets. I had to survive somehow. So the car became my shelter. I just felt like I was spinning my wheels, dealing with PTSD, undiagnosed PTSD, schizophrenia, substance use disorder, and I decided to go to to RSAT, the substance abuse team up at the Boise VA. So I was there in their domicile program for 30 days, and when I exited, I needed somewhere to go, so I went to the Boise Rescue Mission. The Boise Rescue Mission, has provided most of the support, in terms of giving me a place to stay, so I wasn't battling this through homelessness, living in a car. Because Don, he sat me down when I first came to the mission and, said, look, we want to give you a place to stay with a roof over your head so that, you can relieve yourself of some of the problems that you deal with daily being homeless. Then we want to get you on track to start saving money, to start trying to rebuild your credit score, try to get a vehicle, etc., and prepare to basically transition out to being on your own. So thus far, I've been able to save a significant amount of money. I've got my credit score up to about 720. I have a reliable vehicle, and after this place, I fully intend to be in my own place. I think there's a feeling of I'm sure everybody suffers or deals with hopelessness at some point, but I think a feeling of resentment, and when somebody tells me, hey, thank you for your service, and I say you're welcome, I truly am welcoming them, because I did it for my country, for myself, etc. But I think there's some resentment, from the veterans, in that, hey, I served the country. Now I need help. I would tell them to come to the Boise Rescue Mission. That needs to be their goal, their target, is to land there, because that'll get them off the street, put a roof over their head, and give them some comfort while they try to rebuild. I would say that we're very thankful for everything that you provide. I know that the furniture in the rooms at the VMP, the recreation rooms, those are all provided by donors, and without the donors, we wouldn't have that, period. I'm not sure what we would have, to be quite honest with you. There have been donors who have come and employed some of us for short periods of time. We're more than willing to go out there and work for you and do a good job. And again, we're thankful for everything that you provide.